I want to conclude this special by giving you my take, drawing on my Washington Post column this week. Despite the fact that, in America at least, the curve has not really flattened, we're all thinking about when and how things will get back to normal. But we should use this crisis as a way to rethink what normal means. The more closely you look, the more it appears that we human beings have been living in a way that makes future pandemics likely, even inevitable. Peter Daszak is a disease ecologist, a renowned virus hunter. He and his team venture into bat caves in full protective gear to get the animal's saliva or blood to determine the origins of a virus. In a conversation with me, he was clear. We're doing things every day that make pandemics more likely. We need to understand this. It is not just nature. It is what we are doing to nature. Remember, most viruses come from animals. The CDC estimates that 3/4 of new human diseases originate in animals. The coronavirus might simply have come from one of those wildlife markets in China where live animals are slaughtered and sold, a practice that should be banned around the world. But it's also true that as human civilization expands, building roads, clearing farmland, constructing factories, excavating mines, we are also destroying the natural habitat of wild animals, bringing them closer and closer to us. Some scientists believe this is making the transmission of diseases from animals to humans far more likely. The virus that causes COVID-19 appears to have originated in bats, which are particularly good incubators for viruses. Scientists are still studying what happened, but in other cases, we've seen how human encroachment can lead bats to look for food around farms, where they then infect livestock and through them infect humans. There are other paths for pathogens. The most likely one comes directly from our insatiable appetite for meat. As people around the world get richer, they tend to eat more meat. Some 80 billion land animals are slaughtered for meat each year. 80 billion around the world. Most livestock is factory farmed, an estimated 99% in America, about 74% around the world, according to one animal rights group. And that entails crowding thousands of animals inches from each other in gruesome conditions that are almost designed to incubate viruses and then encourage them to spread, getting more virulent with each hop. Vox's Sigal Samuel quotes the biologist Rob Wallace. Factory farms are the best way to select for the most dangerous pathogens possible. Factory farms are also ground zero for new antibiotic-resistant bacteria, which is another path toward widespread human infections. Factory farmed animals are bombarded with antibiotics, which means the bacteria that survive and flourish are highly potent. While these animals are not always the source of deadly infections, some 2.8 million Americans are sickened by antibiotic-resistant bacteria annually, of whom 35,000 die every year, according to the CDC. And then there is climate change, which intensifies everything, transforming ecosystems, forcing more animals out of their habitats, and bringing tropical conditions to places that were previously temperate. Scientific American reports the warmer, wetter, and more variable conditions brought by climate change are making it easier to transmit diseases such as malaria, dengue fever, yellow fever, Zika virus, West Nile virus, and Lyme disease in many parts of the world. As we change ecosystems and natural habitats, long dormant diseases can emerge to which we have no immunity. In May 2015, 2/3 of the world's population of saigas, a small antelope, died suddenly within a few weeks. A bacterium called Pasteurella multocida, which had long lived in the animal without doing any harm, suddenly turned virulent. Why? The Atlantic's Ed Yong explains that the region was becoming more tropical and 2015 was a particularly warm, humid year. When the temperature gets really hot, he writes, and the air gets really wet, saiga die, climate is the trigger, Pasteurella is the bullet. So let's not get back to just normal. Let's change our ways to make normal life less dangerous for the planet, for nature, and for animals, which of course includes us.